Donald Trump is so far out ahead that the rest of the field can't even see him. This is Secretariat against the rest of the field in the 1973 Belmont Stakes.
Ben Shapiro did a little selfie video last night that I kind of thought summed up the reality of the situation quite well.
Here is the very quick story. Donald Trump wins walking away. All of the pollsters called this thing pretty much as soon as the polls open. That raises questions in and of itself about procedure, about whether that affects the final vote tally. But bottom line is they were doing that based on the entrance polling data. Donald Trump is way out ahead. Donald Trump is so far out ahead that the rest of the field can't even see him. This is Secretariat against the rest of the field in the 1973 Belmont Stakes. What does that mean going forward? It means that de facto Trump is the nominee. If no one could challenge him in Iowa, if nobody really has a chance of challenging him based on that momentum going into New Hampshire, if nobody has a challenge for him in South Carolina, then all you can say at this point is that he is preparing for the general election against Joe Biden. And we're already there. Maybe it was always going to be this way. After all, he's been treated by the Republican electorate as the incumbent president. And he's been treated that way because that's how they think of him. Many Republicans think, by the way, that he won the last election against Joe Biden, rightly or wrongly. And so why wouldn't they treat him that way? There might have been a brief moment in time where there were minds that were open to be changed enough to possibly challenge Trump. But that time passed a while ago. And it's pretty obvious at this point that Donald Trump is going to be your Republican nominee in 2024.
All right, that's Ben Shapiro being Ben Shapiro. A lot of sense. The line that I want to focus on, maybe it was always going to be this way. That might be right? And I never denied that here. But I think fighting the good fight and doing it honestly and forthrightly is always worth it, right? Like, clearly I thought, and I still believe, that Ron DeSantis, because of age, because of policy, because of the picking the correct fights and all of those things, was the guy for this moment. But I'm not the king of the world, right? So the caucus goers of Iowa disagreed with that. That's just fine. Now, I can either just fight and swim upstream and demand the world acquiesce to me, or I can see the world as it is, as we talked about yesterday. And I think Ben is completely right. Like, we know DeSantis isn't going to do particularly well in New Hampshire. That sort of looks like it'll be Haley's last stop. And then there's South Carolina. But Trump has this.